The gatekeeper.
Amara was the most beautiful girl in Umuneze village. Her beauty was so striking that people often use her as a standard for everything good. It was not for nothing that she was named Amara, an Igbo name that means grace. Her skin gleamed like the morning sun, and even from afar one could see that her body was a delicate as freshly baked cheese. Some people call her the peach blossom. Amara, well mannered too, because she was properly raised. She was very much aware of her beauty but never let it go into her head. She had lots of respect for her elders. She was therefore highly sought after in the marriage market. Men flocked to her father's compound like bees to honey, seeking her hand in marriage. Every man wanted to quickly claim the prize before another did, but there was only one man she loved, and his name is Nkem. Nkem was a businessman living in Enugu. By all standards, Nkem was wealthy. He owned multiple cars and beautiful houses across the city. I love him, Amara told her parents one day when Nkem came to see them. I want to marry him, she said with a resolute tone. She was just 18 and her parents were worried she was too young for love meant. At that time, Nkem was 45 and had been previously married. His wife had died of an accident 3 years before. He already had a daughter from his late wife by name Uzo Amaka. For all these reasons, Amara's parents were convinced Nkem would take care of her and as if she were his own child. So they allowed the marriage to sit. That was 5 years ago. Nkem, now 50, has proven to be a good husband to Amara. He is caring, loving, and completely faithful to her. Amara has everything money can buy and is pampered like a precious gem. But there was just one problem. She has not been able to conceive since marrying Nkem 5 years ago. Amara is now 23 and though she still has a youth on her side, she faces unbearable pressure from Nkem's mother, who insists on having grandchildren. The woman's pressure and harsh words were silently killing Amara, and even though she looks beautiful and radiant, she is dying inside. I am afraid I might collapse and die one day, Amara confided in her friend Chiamaka when she visited her one Sunday evening. Chiamaka was a single mother who lived next door. Do you know that Nkem's mother is coming to visit us from the village today? I am afraid of that woman, Amara said. In fact, she's bringing a new wife for her son. Though Nkem has told me he won't accept or touch the girl. I am scared. I don't know what to do. Is this how my marriage will end? Amara asked her friend, tears streaming down her face. Why are you always so emotional? Chiamaka asked with a motherly voice. Chiamaka was 35 and more experienced with matters of the heart. I want to ask you, Amara, Chiamaka continued after taking a bite from the apple she was eating. The crunch punctuated her words. I want to ask, apart from crying, what else have you done about your childlessness? Your mother-in-law is moving swiftly in search for a new wife for your husband. What have you done? Chiamaka asked. I have gone to countless hospitals and doctors keep telling me everything is okay with me, Amara said. She took a white handkerchief from her bag and wiped her tears. Have you tried another man? Chiamaka asked. The question sounded like a bombshell to Amara. What? Amara wanted to make sure she heard clearly. I mean, have you slept with another man apart from Nkem? Have you gone out to try another man? Chiamaka's voice was clear and serious, despite what Amara thought was a bizarre suggestion. God forbid, Amara exclaimed. I don't think I am capable of such betrayal. Then be ready to lose your husband and your marriage, Chiamaka said, standing up and leaving the room. She knew she has planted a seed in Amara's heart, and it would take a root in due time. That same evening, Nkem's mother arrived from the village with a new wife for her son. The young lady named was Ifunanya. By all standards, Ifunanya was very attractive and not a typical village girl. She was dressed seductively with all her curves on display. Her presence made Amara feel very intimidated and threatened. She was deeply hurt. Matters worsened when Ifunanya went straight to the matrimonial room and dropped her bag. Nkem offered no resistance. In fact, he fell for Ifunanya as soon as he saw her. Only a fool man can resist a beautiful woman offered to them on a silver platter. That night, Amara moved her belongings out of her matrimonial room, unprepared for the shame. She was the one who hadn't born a child after 5 years, so she felt ashamed and obliged to give way to another woman. She occupied another room downstairs. She was very lonely that night and cried her eyes out. Then she remembered the question Chiamaka had asked her earlier in the evening. She decided to do something about it and paid the gatekeeper an emergency visit. That Amara did not want Ifunanya to get pregnant before her. She wanted to prove that she was indeed fertile and a proper woman. If the gatekeeper can make me pregnant, then so be it, Amara said as she quietly entered the gatekeeper's room. She was prepared to fight, and the battle has just begun. Exactly 1 month after Amara started sleeping with the gatekeeper, she missed her period. At first, she doubted it was pregnancy, but she bought a pregnancy test stripe, dipped it in her urine, and it came out positive. To be doubly sure, Amara went to the hospital and carried out a blood test, which confirmed that she was indeed pregnant. Amara had been very clever during the period she was seeing the gatekeeper. She occasionally lured Nkem, her husband, into her room, and he slept with her too. This way, there was no suspicion that who is responsible for the pregnancy, at least from Nkem's side. With immense joy in her heart, Amara presented the pregnancy test result to Nkem one Sunday afternoon. Are you sure about this? Nkem asked as he snatched the white envelope from Amara. He was panting like a dog that had chased an antelope. Just open the envelope. How can I joke about pregnancy? Amara said with a charming laugh. God, I am so excited. I have waited for this good news for so many years. Finally, it is here, Nkem said as he tore the envelope. He nearly tore the test result out of excitement. Ifunanya was present in the room when Amara broke the news of her pregnancy. In fact, Amara made sure Ifunanya heard her loud and clear. God has wiped all our tears after so many years of waiting. Oh my God, Nkem said excitedly as he went to the fridge and brought out a bottle of red wine to celebrate the moment. The scene and the whole celebration were very painful for Ifunanya, so she stood up and left the room with a heavy heart. What is wrong with me? Why did Amara get pregnant before me? She couldn't get pregnant after 5 years, but got pregnant within just this month that I am here. Ifunanya asked herself as she got to the balcony, where she sat down and nursed her pain. She felt so hurt that it took her several hours to stop crying. She had hoped to get pregnant the very first month of arrival, so that Amara would be chased out completely from the house. But things were going differently. Now that Amara was pregnant, Ifunanya knew that her position in Nkem's house and heart was greatly threatened. I cannot lose Nkem, Ifunanya said, with a very resolute tone. He is rich.
And this is exactly the life I want. I will fight, she vowed. Ifunanya was indeed a very smart lady. She was not entirely convinced Amara's pregnancy was true. She decided to clear her doubts. That night, after Nkem's finished making love to her, she collected his semen, stored it in a small white bottle, and kept it in her fridge. Nkem was unaware of this, as she did it very secretly. Very early the next morning, she took the bottle to the hospital laboratory and demanded a seminal analysis. She was apprehensive as she sat in the doctor's office, waiting for the results. Even though there was an air conditioner in the office, she was sweating profusely and her heart was beating very fast. Soon, the result of the analysis arrived, and the lab scientist handed it over to the doctor. "What does the result say? Tell me at once," Ifunanya said, her voice shaking as if she was drunk. "Your husband is impotent. He has a low sperm count and can't get anyone pregnant," the doctor declared. The words fell on Ifunanya's ears like sharp pieces of shrapnel. "I knew it!" Ifunanya shouted at the top of her voice. She jumped out of her seat, snatched the test result from the doctor, and disappeared from the office with the speed of light. "I knew she got pregnant outside. That witch called Amara. Now that I have proof of the truth, I will show her what I am made of," she vowed as she jumped into her car and drove home with speed. Ifunanya entered Nkem's compound with the force of a military raid. The sound of her tires and brakes echoed through the compound. "The battle line is drawn," Ifunanya said as she jumped down from her car with youthful agility. She unzipped her bag, brought out the test results, and held it like a weapon as she stepped into the house. Crazy days ahead. Thank you for watching. You mean a lot to me. Kindly watch out for episode 2. Subscribe, like, and comment, as your comments give us insights into more interesting story and how to feed you back. Thank you.